All right. I'd like to call to order the June 8th, 2022 Townsend Conservation Commission meeting. Can I have a roll call, please?
Alan Claire.
James LeClaire. James Gates.
Joan Savoy.
Linda Mack.
This meeting is being recorded. Is anyone else recording? Chairman's additions and deletions. We do not have the 5/25/22 minutes to review, so we will hold off on those. We are going to remove the 3.3 request for COCs for 157 Bailey Road, as we're still waiting for guidance from town council, and we are going to add 5.1 under education and conferences, an invasives discussion. So, chair report, I do not have anything to report currently. 1.5, review, approve the meeting minutes from 5/11/22. Did everyone have a chance to review it?
Yes.
Questions, comments, discussion?
I will admit I missed those, but Matt is so thorough.
They were
Yeah.
okay.
Good. Thank you.
Need a motion in a second.
I move we approve the 5/11/22 meeting minutes.
Second.
Linda Mack,
I wasn't there. Should I vote? I should vote.
abstain, probably.
I'm gonna abstain.
Yes, Joan Savoy, yes.
Jim? Yes. Ann?
Yes.
James Gates, yes. 1-1.6, agents report. Hi, Jessica.
Hello. All right. Report for May 23rd to June 3rd. I had a building permit interdepartmental signature just for email for 22 Worcester Road. No referrals were completed. No Board of Health interdepartmental signatures were completed. We've now made 13 inquiries out to old orders of conditions issued without COCs. We still have an RDA for 46 Emery Road tree cutting on hold. We are still pending fee reviews for 3 requests for COCs for 1, 5, and 7 Bailey Road. We mailed out a determination for 57 Tyler Road, a determination of applicability on June 1st. We have an ecological NOI for Squanicook River Wildlife Management Area. We did receive a request for a September continuance. We have an RDA for 1 Brown Road intake and site visit. We did a creation of a template for Unitil project notifications to conservation within town limits. And we have an RDA for 12 South Street.
Does anyone have any comments or
I have a
discussion
question.
points? Yes.
Thank you. Jessica, Edwards Road, I think last time we left it that someone, I can't remember whom, was going to check into.
We just received an update on Monday, but not enough time to get it on this agenda. So we will fill you guys in at another time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I would like to address the commission for a moment, if that's okay.
Yes.
I just want to make a note that our last meeting, when we were nominating whether or not someone should be reappointed or someone shouldn't be reappointed, at this point, it's a moot point for us to do that, because it doesn't matter if we recommend somebody or if we don't recommend somebody. It's up to the select board. Our votes have no bearing at all. And I just wanted the commission to realize that our votes have no meaning at all. Thank you.
It's something to take into consideration. Thank you, Ann.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else? Okay, so we're going to move on to hearings and appointments. 7:07, so we're a little early.
We're actually not going to open that Squanicook
We're
hearing.
not going to open it?
No,
and
since we don't
postpone it?
have DEP number and it's not a complete application, and the applicant requested for continuance anyway. So I think it is, acceptable to just vote. I think I saw Tom on here if he wanted to pop on for whatever reason. But if not, actually, no, we can't really discuss anything other than they requested continuance to the September 22nd meeting. So or September 21st. So 28th, sorry, final answer. I would just recommend you make a motion to continue to actually open the hearing then.
Make a motion, we open the hearing for notice of intent, DEP 308 and TWB 2022-128 until September 28th.
Second.
Linda?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ann?
Aye.
James, yes. Notice of intent has been postponed. What?
Match.
Okay, work session, 3.1, TWB 2022-129, One Brown Road, request for determination of applicability for patio expansion, installation of safety fence and potential drainage improvements, all within the 100 feet of bordering vegetated
So,
wetland.
Matt, I need to recuse myself. Can you put that in the minutes? Because I'm in butter. And I'll leave.
Of course.
Someone come and get me when I'm done.
We'll need a motion to, or
I make a motion to open the,
not even open.
You don't have to open it.
oh, we don't have to open, it's a work session.
So
We
You guys
don't
were
need a
there?
motion.
yes,
Yes.
you were there. Does anyone have
Yes.
anything that, yes?
I do want to know, just because I would like to have a discussion further down the road about plans, that the as-built plans for that property, because I looked through the file pretty well, were different from the plan we just got. Jessica's good with the plan we just got, but I do want to know that the as-built was different. That aside, I liked your recommendation very much, James, and I thank you for that, that they we can ask for permeable pavers.
That's not. Keep going, I'm listening.
Well, because of I mean, it is in the wetlands there, and you had said that on the sidewalk. You had made the suggestion about permeable pavers, or semi-permeable pavers.
The applicant, Brad was here, so we can discuss it if you want.
And also, I asked to know how many square feet if the project was in the buffer. Did we get that answered?
David's on that here. David, could you give us that answer, or even Brad, of how many square feet are going to be within the 100-foot buffer? I don't think it's much.
I don't have an exact amount. We said roughly 25 by 25. And then wherever kind of that area corner of the house, as you can see, it's in. There's maybe I believe it's 17 by 4 that wraps around the pool. skimmer. So whatever that would amount to, I think we said,
It's not much. Jim, Ann?
If I had the floor, I would like to make a comment that this is a pre-existing condition. The fence has already been installed. The grading in the backyard has already been functional for a period of time. He's come forward and he's applying for a permit to put pavers down to be in conjunction with the existing pool. Although the operations of part of the pool are within the 100-foot buffer zone, due to the fact that the fence is already pre-existing, et cetera, I don't have an issue with this thing going forward first.
Well, there's an installation of the safety fence,
Mm-hmm.
but there's already a perimeter fence around it, so. But yeah, I don't have any issues with it going forward either.
I don't have a problem with it going forward, but I would like to see semi-permeable or permeable pavers there. I'm not sure that fence would be considered
Mr.
at
Chairman,
this point.
that's really not our choice to make that decision.
Right. Thank you. I
Yeah,
mean, I got the idea from you, James.
No, it's fine.
I thought it was a
And
great one.
It's not a bylaw, it's not a, anything that we even, I think, have looked into in this town,
Well, but it's, I mean,
but it's something that.
we're allowed to put order of conditions on.
Yeah, but it's 17, it's what, 64 square feet.
Thank you.
I don't know. It's around a pool. Permeable pavers are always, you don't have to worry about the little stones bedding everywhere like you used to. But again, it's only 64 square feet within the 100-foot buffer, and it's all existing. You already have a concrete pool deck.
Mhm.
You're not even going to be accessing the area through the buffer. You're going to be accessing it through the driveway, through the gate. Jeff, go
Just
ahead.
make sure you put the ones in that don't burn your feet.
will do. Duly noted. Thank you.
Jessica, do you have any input to this, or?
No, nothing new from what you guys have already been discussing. Yeah, I mean, it's outside of the 50-foot. It's exempt from DEP, from the state regulations. So it's just covered in our bylaw, but yeah, it sounds like there would be active efforts taken to try to minimize impacts, so.
Yes, you're already planning on trucking material out, because you don't really have a spot to get rid of it. I don't see any problem with it, so we need to make a motion.
You want us, Jim?
Do you want a -3 determination?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion for a -3 determination on TWB 2022-129 Brown Lane. Oh, Brown Road, I keep calling it Brown Lane, Brown Road, excuse me.
Seconded.
Discussion.
Yes.
We are allowed to ask for invasives managed. Oh, it's the South Side project. Never mind. Sorry.
Okay.
Side of the project. Thank you.
Do you have a second? Joan?
Yes, second.
Or you second?
I second.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jim
sorry.
seconded it.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Jim?
I'm in favor of this.
Yes,
James Gates, yes. You're all set. Jessica will have the paperwork for you in a week or so.
Yeah, I'll work on it on Friday and then you guys can sign it early next week. So Brad, hopefully we'll have it to you by the end of next week.
Great, thank you all, I appreciate it.
how's your son?
It's getting better. It's on the road to recovery. Should get better.
That's good,
Thank you.
good, glad to hear.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Brett.
Thank you.
Moving on to,
Want to send Kathy back? Kathy?
Yeah, get Linda back in, please.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. Oops. Hello, Ms. Mack.
you all again.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Have a great
you.
night. Good luck. Have fun.
Thanks.
Sir Chair, I do have a question though.
Yes.
I don't believe it has to be in the bylaw for us to condition something. I mean, should we do more
No.
research on understanding that as a body? You know, like, I
I think-
permeable pavers have to be in the bylaw? Semi-permeable
No,
pavers?
but I think it's something that we need to explore as a town, and it's not just pavers, but pavement. I know in Delaware, they give tax incentives for it. You know, but that's part of stormwater management, which
Right.
doesn't fall under us.
Right.
But, you know, so Mike Crowley is the storm, so I'll mention it to Mike. Can I start, you mind if I start there?
No, it's
Thank
fine. I don't know how much traction you get, but it's something that
Well, we should know.
I think the town in general should consider.
We're not Providence town, but we are wet.
3.2, DWB 2022-130, 12. And
Ahoy.
how are you, Bobby?
Good, hi Colby.
You need to announce your presence. It's settled.
Who? You?
We are
The
here.
meeting? Colby Streeter, present.
So we're on 3.2, TWB 2022-130, 12 South Street, request for determination of applicability for replacement and expansion of a water line within the 200-foot river front area. Jim and Annie weren't there,
No.
so they're upgrading the service. I believe someone from the engineering firm is on.
Good afternoon. Hello, yes. My name is Oksana Fartushna. Good afternoon, Commission. I'm here with Green International Affiliates on behalf of the applicant, client Deluxe Health Corporation, presenting this request for determination of applicability for the proposed upgrade of the waterline service at 12 South Street. And I believe, I'm not sure, Jessica, we didn't discuss it, but should we share locus map or plan, or do we just
Hartley,
typically?
can she have access?
I just gave it to her. Thank you.
Yeah, so Oksana, we can only regulate what's happening within that 200-foot riverfront area. So if you just want to focus
Yes.
on that, where the intersection with South Street is, I think that would be good.
Yes. And am I supposed to be sharing the screen, right? Okay, I see. Can do that. Sharing the screen. Let me know when everyone can see this.
I can see it.
We can see the screen. All right, so basically, only a small portion of the project is located within that 200-foot riverfront area. Just to give it a little bit of a visual here, you can see the entrance to the site. Sorry, the entrance to the site from South Street, and the riverfront area is basically limited to this portion of the project. And within this portion of the project, basically what's going to happen is the existing water line, which is located right here, will be excavated, and it will be replaced with the proposed 10-inch water line, which is larger, which is required for the project. Basically, upon the completion of construction, the area will be restored. You can see here we have pervious area and impervious. So we will restore the impervious area right here, and we will restore the landscape area in here. And that is pretty much what's happening here. And I can go into more details if anyone would like, or we are opening it for questions.
Does anyone, do you have any questions?
Well, this is a pre-existing condition.
Yep.
There's an upgrade that has to be performed successfully. And they've got a little obstruction there within the buffer, et cetera. But once again, this is not something new that they're proposing to be reinstalled. This is something that has to be maintained and upgraded. So it's a total different scenario than what it would be if it's a new application. You gotta go with what you have to work with. You gotta do the best you can with what's available, and it appears to me that everything here is the best they can do. So, I'm in favor of the upgrade without having any, other restrictions, et cetera.
Ann?
Yeah. And I read the,
So I didn't see the site, but is it pretty flat?
Yeah, there's a
okay.
slight slope, but it's not much.
Okay.
Primarily all sand too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I believe, Oksana, if you want to go back to the plan, I believe they're proposing some sort of erosion control barrier too there on the downstream side of the
Yeah.
limits of work.
I saw that.
Yes, there is erosion control on site, which will be installed prior to any earth disturbance, and it will be maintained until the construction is complete, and then will be removed safely.
Good.
Oksana and Dan, can I talk
Yeah.
about turtles for a second? I did talk to Mike and Jessica about it, and they said I could ask them this. It's,
Well, not
turtles aren't, Oksana, turtles aren't our jurisdiction,
Yeah.
but we did see a huge snapper while we were there the other day. And our land use coordinator tells us that they like to lay their eggs in macadam, blacktop. And so she was coming from like the building in the blacktop area and moving back toward the water. So I went over to the truck driver, the lovely man that was there, and he said he had seen it, so that was good. But, and this is just personal, I'm just asking, maybe you guys could throw some signs up, because it is nesting
No.
season. What?
National Heritage does not want that.
Is that true?
Yes.
Because then it lets, but a snapping turtle isn't on the
But
endangered species.
General.
Just
But
to
they don't
say,
want any-
beware turtle crossing? I
Because
talked to
we
Mike.
have them in town, I've noticed.
Right, but Squanicook Greenways has received a letter.
But that would be for, I mean, I understand that,
Landings and all
but
that kind of-
for the endangered species, but
Right, we-
because they don't want people knowing they're there, because they might move them and bring them to their property, somebody's
Yeah,
property,
poach
whatever, poach them. But a snapper is not on that list, so, I don't know.
Well,
I don't want to open up a door.
it's not, well, I did, that's why I talked to Mike about it first, but it's not endangered, so that's just a personal thing, maybe some signs for the truck drivers and all the construction, watch out, turtles around. Thank you.
I mean, it wouldn't cost them anything very much.
If anyone does care, I just looked on Mass Mapper and the project area is outside of estimated rare
Yeah.
habitat.
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
So it really is just for,
Colby, do you have anything?
Nope. I motion to approve TWB 2022-130 12 South Street, Westford determination.
Is it -3, or do you have any?
I would suggest -3.
I'll second that. Linda?
fine, fine.
Aye.
Colby?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Ann?
What do
yes,
you guys usually say? We used to say.
James, yes.
You only need one person with no, then you have to do roll call.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
But it-
So Jessica, you'll have that within the next week and a half for them?
Yeah, probably the same timeline. I have to fill out the paperwork and then get the commissioners to come in and sign copies, but hopefully by the end of next week, we can get it out at least into the mail to you guys.
That's great. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Commission.
Jessica, sorry, this is Danielle Spicer. Would you be able to email us a copy?
I can email it, yes, but you do need a hard copy with
Yes.
signatures, but I'll at
Yes.
least email you a copy in
Thank you so
advance
much.
of you guys getting the mail. Yeah.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone.
thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
Too.
Yes.
No, I'm good. No, thanks.
So we're still screen sharing.
Anna or Hartley, could you guys turn off screen share, please? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I was trying to figure out how to do that. I just did. Thank you again. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Thank you.
3.3, we removed till further notice.
I did, if you guys want an update, I did actually email Ally on Monday, but I have not
Okay.
heard back. So I did reach out to her.
Do you know if Mike has gotten any guidance from town council yet?
Yeah, but I guess we shouldn't talk about it without the applicant. But we did come to a fee determination for them, yes.
Then let's put it on the next meeting and we'll get it settled up.
Yep, yeah, the applicant was invited to the next meeting, so as long as we hear back, we'll have it on that agenda.
Thank you. 3.4, mandatory referral notice from planning board regarding 32 South Street,
Main Street.
Main Street. So this is for the food truck lot.
Right.
Jessica, do you mind filling us in on?
Sure. So we did a referral, I don't know, a month or two back, with just a very conceptual plan. Now this is their site plan. So there's a lot more detail. So if you open up the site plans, I also reviewed this already and made a few comments.
Is there any way that you could screen share it? Because we don't have a full size, we only have a.
Oh, yeah, they only distributed them electronically. Yes, Hartley, can Jessica, have screen share permissions,
Or is this
please?
something that's gonna come in front of us, like, for a formal review?
Potentially.
You got it, Jessica. Go right ahead.
Thank you. I have to find it. Hold on.
It is jurisdictional, is it not?
That's what I just asked.
How do I do this? Oh, there
It
it is.
is.
Usually Matt does this. All right. Can you guys see the plan?
So, yeah. So she
All right.
has a print of,
So,
Y'all can hear. Sorry.
So down, I guess, yeah, down to the south and southeast of the property is the Squanicook River and some adjacent wetlands. So those are far enough off-site that they are not shown. However, I don't know the extent of potential wetlands that are adjoining to the Squanicook River. So it is possible that obviously they don't extend on site with the topography, but it's possible that their buffer might extend on site. So one of the notes said that this property is within ACEC, but no other water for jurisdictional resources are on there. So I would recommend that we have them at least do a quick field investigation. I assume it's publicly owned property back there to the back of the site, just to make sure
It's
that
rail trail. It's the rail trail.
it's real, yeah.
The
So if
only
they can just
comment-
come down off that. Because yeah, I mean, otherwise any comments I might have would sort of be reliant upon if the buffer would extend onto the site, because it does seem like they plan on grading out the site and then paving or filling with gravel, or doing some improvements pretty much throughout the entire parcel. So if there is a buffer that extends onto the site, then yes, they most likely would need to file with us.
yeah, I remember there were a lot of parking spots there right along the rail trail.
No, they've changed it.
So
Jessica.
now they have a stormwater sorry, I don't want to make you too
They have
dizzy.
a detention basin in there. What are your thoughts on that going towards the Squanicook?
I think it's probably just a stormwater requirement that they might exceed some sort of acreage of development and they need to do on-site treatment. Especially as long as the bottom elevation of any stormwater feature is not below that of wetlands or adjoining water features as to sort of drain or pull hydrology from them. I think it's okay. But yeah, that would probably be a question for land use if that stormwater is actually a necessity or not.
I understand the necessity side of it because of the impervious paving, but the location of the detention basin.
I mean, I think some natural grass and water is better than them paving back there. But yeah, I don't know if it's actually required or not, because if not, then it'd probably just be nice to leave it as a field or something.
Well, I think they need it regardless, but then it's all sandy soil. I just didn't know if the location of it, because of the proximity of the Squanicook, could cause problems with oil runoff.
Yeah, so
Any of those leaching
just
things. I know
measuring.
it's a long shot, but
Yeah, just measuring from an aerial photograph, the nearest bank of the Squanicook to that very bottom right-hand corner down here, I don't know if you can see my mouse, is just about 300 feet. So,
okay.
I mean, it's a good distance. It's still even outside of the riverfront area buffer, but again, yeah, it depends on how far up wetlands might extend and if those buffers are there.
It's all sand, so I don't know, but I guess you could, what are you recommending and what were your comments?
Did that just switch screens for everybody?
Yes.
So
They want to see
note
it.
number 2, plans sheet 2. I just wanted to, have them confirm that no buffers extend off of this offsite wetlands or rivers that extend onto the property. And then, just based on their proposed demolition plan and grading plan, if there is a buffer area in the bottom corner of that site, then they would need to file with Conservation Commission.
So, on the edge of the river today, that's well over
300 feet.
So it's all the way.
So Jessica, that's, we don't know for sure if they have to file with us then?
But I agree with you.
All right, let's try to keep one conversation, I guess. So meeting minutes is easier.
Besides being within the ACEC,
That's fine. For us.
I don't see it being really much within our jurisdiction.
I think as long as no off-site wetland buffers extend onto the parcel, then correct, it would be outside of our jurisdiction.
That's one of the driest parts of the road.
No, it's pretty dry back there. I don't see it being,
Yeah.
it's uphill
Okay.
from everything. It's uphill quite a bit.
Sure.
It's just
Okay.
like feet of water.
And then, my only other comment is based on our Chapter 150 regulations, the applicant needs to communicate with the Conservation Commission when they are cutting greater than 50% of the tree cover on the site, which it looks like will be happening here.
Isn't that within the buffer zone, or is that all trees?
That's a good question because it is not clarified.
It's buffer zone.
I
That's the
don't
way I interpreted it, but I thought the bylaw was a little bit unclear.
I mean,
If there's no buffer zone within where they're doing their work, they'd be able to clear the entire place. Per se, they were building a home, they were putting in a septic system, a well,
Yeah.
and all the excavation of the property, you'd have to cut down more than half the trees. But because it's totally out of the buffer zone, There is no regulation on that, to my knowledge.
I think it's only the buffer zone, but it's been a while for me, so I could be wrong.
Yeah, if it was
I
within
don't
the
think
buffer zone, I
yeah.
agree with it, yeah.
I don't think anybody comes to a conservation commission unless you're within that jurisdictional thing, right?
Jessica, am I improperly remembering that we originally thought this was jurisdictional?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I think we were just unaware of the extent of offsite features. I don't know what our initial comments were, unfortunately.
It fell under, excuse me, it fell under selective cutting, but there's no mention of a buffer being within, meeting the 50% requirement being within the 200-foot. 200-foot.
And we get tree cutting plans if there's going to be a large cut and there's wetlands, but
Right.
Yeah, there's no wetlands there.
so I think we'll.
Yeah, unfortunately, the regulations don't specify as to where that tree cutting would take place if it's greater than 50%.
They don't. I mean, we always thought it was in the buffer zone because that's our jurisdiction.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense because it is the wetland regulations. I just didn't want to miss
It
it.
might be the tree warden or the state or something else, but I don't think we do anything there.
All right, so. I guess we need to, what are our comments?
Have we done a sidewalk there yet?
No.
I think a sidewalk would answer a lot of our questions.
So what I would
It's out of a jurisdiction, so
Yeah.
really we don't have to be there.
right. I mean, I would just say, put in the comments, something like, if the engineers have done a site walk and there's no wetlands, then we have no, if it's not in our jurisdiction, then we have no comments.
You're 100% correct in my opinion.
Does that sound okay?
Yeah,
Thank you.
and they're gonna have to do test holes for the septic, so.
Yeah. Because it's up to the engineers to find out if there's a wetland, it's not up to.
You haven't seen anything on this. What else?
No, not yet.
Yeah, so.
But I knew that it's a long distance to the river
Yeah.
crossing because I've done all the real.
And it's all sand.
That is.
Sand, and more sand. Colby?
Well, can I ask if this is a good point to mention that bylaw needs some revision? I can tell you what the state requires for cutting plans. That's 25,000 board feet or 50 cords. So it falls somewhere in between our definition there of selective cutting. It doesn't, there's different requirements from the state for wetlands, and it's spelled out pretty easily by the state, but not our town bylaw. Question?
Yes, sir.
I think you should check the bylaw itself for the limits of the jurisdiction. I think you need a forest, if you're getting a forest cutting plan, then you're probably cutting for agriculture purposes, not for development. So
Right,
I
for
don't think
commercial
I don't
reasons.
think they would be doing the forest cutting plan unless they're kind of segmenting.
Yes, I agree with that. They're gonna clear cut this lot. That's what it is, and
Right.
And there's exemptions too. So a land use change would be one of those exemptions.
sorry. No, it's fine, and that's not a moot point, and it's something that maybe you propose and bring forth to the select board.
I will.
You can just
I can show you,
contact-
I can show you how to do the paperwork for
Yeah.
bylaw change.
And also, if the state has certain requirements,
Yeah.
our bylaws, we really should only think about if we want to expand that, because the state covers it, right? But
Yeah,
if we-
they're pretty succinct. too,
Yeah.
So
I don't know in our bylaw if we need it, but I mean, the state is covering it.
So what comments do we
Unless we
have?
want to do something more, more extensive.
Until we have more information, I don't think we take any further action.
Could be.
So no comment?
I say no comment at this time.
Okay. We need a motion and a second to
Make a motion to say no comment at this time.
Second,
Linda,
Yes?
Joan,
Yes?
Colby,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Ann,
yes.
James, yes. So Jessica, we have no comment
All right.
on this.
Thank you. And Jessica and Matt, I want to thank you again for the really thorough and comprehensive information you provide us before every meeting in the drive, so thank you.
Right. Keep on. Correspondence. 4.1, email from EPA regarding MS4 stormwater continuance. This was sent via email May 16th, 2022, regarding 2016 Massachusetts Small Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System General Permit, administratively continued permit coverage. Dear permit holder, you are receiving this letter because stormwater discharges from your municipal separate storm sewer system, MS4, are currently authorized under the 2016 Massachusetts Small MS4 permit, which will expire July 1, 2022. In accordance with Part 1.6 of the Mass MS4 permit, the Mass MS4 permit will be administratively continued on July 1, 2022. The Mass MS4 permit will remain in force and effect for discharges that were authorized prior to July 1, 2022 until such discharges are authorized under a reissued general permit, an individual permit, or other alternative general permit. No action is required at this time to remain covered under the Mass MS4 permit. If you have any questions regarding this matter, please contact Newton Tedder at US EPA or Laura Sheffman at Mass DEP. Sincerely, Lynn Jennings. Do we have to do anything with this, Jessica?
That's enough comment also.
No. No action for you guys, just an FYI.
Thank you. Redacted. 4.2, email from town resident with concerns that wetlands are being illegally filled at 127 Main Street. It seemed I have, and this was received Thursday, May 19th, 2022 to Mike Crowley, our land use coordinator. It seemed I have left messages for concern about wetlands being filled for what seems to be a parking area on the right side of the drive. I am following up with an email. There is a file on this property from years ago, I believe, that shows the past commission's intent to protect the wetland. After review, would someone get back to me? Thanks. Blank. Yeah, the subject line is 127 Main Street,
Where is that?
right across from the hayfield on 119. Right where where the bad accident was on Monday.
Has anybody gone out to see?
Jessica, have you done?
I have only done drive-bys because there's nowhere to stop on the side of the road there, and I didn't want to trespass, obviously. I did actually start seeing this property several months ago. that pile of dirt. It's probably, oh, 3 or 4 cubic yards in size. And it looks like there's a little pull off from the driveway. But that pile's been there and hasn't been moved at all in the several months that I've seen this. And then I did pull the old conservation files for this property as well. Based on those, I mean, it was from like 2000, so it's been 20 years, but based on the wetland delineation map from then, all wetlands were located further to the west of the driveway, or like if you're looking at the driveway to the left of it, so not even on the side where this material is being stored. So since I haven't seen any plowing into anything, I don't think it's really a big concern until something does happen, if it does. But it looks like the trucks that are parked in the driveway are also, I don't know what they're called, James, like what you drive, like with the sides on the bed. So they're like landscaping
Well, I think
trucks.
the guy has a little landscape company that mows lawns. I don't know exactly. I do know that area does drain poorly because of the stormwater infrastructure under 119. So, you know, yeah, I don't know. I think that's one of those man-made wetlands. Because those pipes aren't, maintained.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does anyone else have a comment?
The only thing I would say is that if somebody could get back to the person and just say that Jessica checked it out, and it's not a problem right now, but we'll keep our eye on it.
We have to make a motion on that?
No.
No, that's just a.
I can circle back with this resident or have Mike, since it was emailed to him. But yes, I will make sure that we get back.
4.2, email from town resident with concerns over habitat disturbance on Emery Road in Adams land. Who wants to read this one?
Adams Land power lines. First, my concern about the heavy equipment disturbance around and through vernal poles on the power lines will probably go nowhere as they replaced a pole on the bank of the river. I would appreciate it if the commission would contact Unitil and request that they do this work out of active reptile amphibian season. I and others are finding state listed reptiles on and not far from that line. The section I am speaking of runs from Emery Road to the Squannacook River. Second, I would try sending a photo of dirt bike / ATV damage to habitat within 20 feet, 5 feet from the Squannacook River on the Adams Land off Elm Circle. I am in communication with FNW as well as reporting to the EPOs. As these vehicles are damaging vernal pools and actually go into the river at some point, I would expect the commission to review damage and actively support efforts by residents to put a stop to this illegal activity. We need feet on the ground to make reports to EPOs. It can't be left to just a few. As I said to you, it is often not hard to track these vehicles back to the source. Third, I understand the commission's desire to have concerns and complaints submitted in writing, email, but that will deter the commission from getting important information about wetland damage in a timely manner or at all. Residents need and should require a professional and trusted employee or a member to bring concerns about a neighbor or controversial issue to without having to divulge their name. As I am working late most days this time of year, I doubt I can attend a meeting, but I trust you will share this with the commission. Thank you.
Jessica?
Have you checked it out, Jessica?
No, because this is state property, so we actually do not have jurisdiction over it, I learned. Mike Crowley did contact the Fish and Wildlife, and they are aware of this happening. Sorry, I skipped down to the dirt bike ATV. So, yeah, I don't really know much of what we can do since it's state property. And then as far as the Unitil stuff goes, I mean, most utility projects are exempt from our bylaws unless they are substantially changing anything, which is why for 12 South Street, since they were upgrading their water line and digging a bigger trench to fit it, that's why they filed. But normal maintenance, replacement, repair, any of that for utilities is exempt from filing. We do have a contact at Unitil, so I did during this past 2 weeks just draft up like a notification of upcoming project that they ideally in good faith would submit to us when Unitil is doing a project like replacing a pole on a riverbank, or you know, I know they dug up something like on the bridge across the river right near Town Hall a few weeks ago, and we knew nothing about it. So just a notification form that they could potentially submit as a courtesy.
Well, what about tree cutting that they do? Because I know that's exempt. But they have to do this, you know, notification form, just so that you know what's going on. Is that something that the forester also needs? And I'm not talking just pruning, I'm talking, you know, full trees that they find to be.
Yeah, again, I mean, I think if it's significant enough, and that's up to everyone's discretion to define significant, if they would need to file or not.
Oh, no, you file or just fill out the form or submit the form? Because I don't want to go trying to change.
I mean, I think the form is more of just, I don't know if I have it with me. A notification.
That's just a courtesy thing so that when you get a phone call, you say what it is.
Yeah, I mean, because we have gotten, actually over the past few months, we have gotten residents saying, oh my gosh, they're cutting so many trees down for the power lines, but you know, they're allowed to. I do have it in here. So yeah, Unitil notification form that I think Mike Crowley did share with them, but again, I don't know if they're actually going to do anything with it. It just says the project location, the anticipated dates of work, their scope of work, and then based on our bylaw definition, which I included in there, if the scope of work seems exempt from our review, and then they sign it. So,
Well, I guess finding out who it was shared to, because sometimes if it goes just into that black hole, they might not get anywhere. But I think pinpointing, you know, project manager for this area, and then the Unitil's forester, who is responsive, or I have found to be responsive.
okay. Yeah, we do. The line I have at the bottom just says the above, it's like a signature certification. The above information has been completed to the best of my knowledge, and it's a print name, signature, and a date. But I should add in a contact email or phone just in case. Yeah.
Can I make an observation about the letters?
Yes.
I do appreciate, since the writers were concerned about their identities, that we did not, they were blacked out on the copies we were given, and certainly the names of the people who wrote those letters were not shared with us, so that is what they requested.
Yeah, I don't see why you guys need to know that. And of course, no one wants anyone to be biased. I don't live in town, so I don't really have a stake on identity. But I think it's the best way for us to get reports.
Jessica, there's no wetlands there at all, even though it's state property? There's none? No buffer zone, nothing?
I don't know yeah, I mean, it's a huge, it's the old sand pit, gravel pit, something. You guys probably know about it better than I do, about what conditions are there.
A lot of sand. Well, less sand than there was originally.
Lots of cranberries.
Yeah,
Lots of cranberries.
yeah, don't tell anyone.
Well, I don't have any comment to it. You know, in terms of vernal pools, that, yeah, I don't have any comment to that.
If it's on state-owned land, it's not jurisdictional, but we do appreciate the input and thank you for checking, Jessica.
I guess if Mike just forwards it to the state, you can say he did what he had to do.
Yeah, as long as there's nothing that's under our jurisdiction. And you've checked, Jessica, so
And
just let them know.
All right.
4.4, email from land use coordinator Mike Crowley regarding the open space and recreation survey. Colby might be able to speak on this, as he's the representative for conservation, representative for TESA. Skipped Monday's meeting because we were doing hay, but
So the survey is to, and correct me or add to it if you feel, James. The purpose of the survey is to find out what the town wants to do with its open spaces and recreational areas. And open space areas are all those that are owned by town, state, do you have any federal government, but they're areas with natural resources dedicated to recreation or being held for non-development.
but it also includes sports,
Correct.
facilities, just how we shape and move forward in the future. This plan is updated every 7 years. 10 years. It's updated periodically, and it's up for revision and updating.
And this survey will give us insight to what the residents of the town would like to see happen with these areas, what's important to them. Do you want to mention where you can find the survey?
It's on the town website, I know that,
Maybe Matt could
It's like right on the front of the list.
but it's, I'm not going to read off the.
You can find it right on the land use page or the conservation page, so it's easy to find.
There you go.
People are sharing it on Facebook, so.
Is there an end date, Colby?
We were discussing that of being the end of June. I believe it was June 30th. Don't quote me on that, but it's right around there. They've gotten a good response so far,
Yeah.
but they're looking for as much information as they can get.
I filled it out the other day, and it takes about 10 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's a good survey. They did a good job.
They did.
Anything else I can add to that?
Cruising tonight. 5.1, just invasives discussion that Joan requested.
Thank you. Matt, can you put up that picture? Is that possible?
Yeah, sure. Let me share my screen here.
So, we have been discussing invasives and invasives education, and I'd like to, TCAN's been very helpful in getting the format protocol for putting these out for PSAs, public service announcements. So this is black swallow wart, that I have seen around, and I had no idea, but it's a really bad invasive. And apparently, it's all over the flower beds at the police station. So,
Wow.
yes,
Good luck
so
with
I'm
that.
gonna call Chief Sartell and ask him if he minds if I come over and rip it out. But there it is, so thanks, Matt. Just, you know, I do think people are hearing about the invasive, so we just have to keep
So
spreading the
Matt,
word.
if you go back to your Google search, click
A
on
lot
the
of pictures.
extension .unh or Cornell. Both of those are really good resources, but it's your upper left.
Black swallow wart, and there's the.
Next one before it. Yep, that one. There's the picture you had originally. Now, if you go to the website, it will give you information regarding it.
Dog strangling vine.
There's
So I'll put together some, an invasive
Keep
thing, and Matt
going
has.
down, there's probably a, so New Hampshire Ag, Michigan State, keep going down to the related sources. Okay, yeah, sometimes they have a worksheet, or a resource sheet, but there's other resources.
All those Google pictures were places that you could hit on.
Yeah, but Cornell's done a good job. UNH does, UMass does.
So Matt, I'll work with you. Matt put together a fabulous invasives piece that we handed out during Earth Day at the CONSCOM table. So Matt, I'll work with you. Maybe we can upgrade it as we learn about some more invasives and keep trying to get the word out.
Yeah, that sounds good. No problem.
Wow, it's a small thing. It looks so much bigger in the pictures.
No, they are.
Thank you. That's it.
And it twists and it will strangle everything. It takes a lot to get rid of. 6.0 items for discussion at next meeting. Anything? Jessica, Matt, you guys have anything for the next meeting besides the 5:25 minutes? Yes, sir.
Oh.
Introduce.
Sure, I'm Mike Turgeon, 6 Boston Drive. I was just wondering when the Division of Fish and Wildlife, I don't know why it would be.
That's going to, that is,
Will that be next week?
no, it was continued to September 28th. They're still working on.
Okay, all right.
They don't have a number yet either.
Yeah, I saw that they didn't have a number, and they don't have insurance. So,
Yeah.
so they can continue.
Yes.
Okay.
So just people, Mike used to be on the Conservation Commission
Yes, it was.
for many years.
Mhm.
You're
And,
the chair.
he,
You want a form?
you also have a
have
background in wetlands and stuff like that, so,
Well, he wrote the book, didn't he?
wrote the book.
Just, I helped with the delineation.
Yeah,
When I was in DEP.
Yeah.
But-
that's right, you worked at DEP. So that's good you're thinking about that, because that's a big thing they're doing.
Yeah, I think, well,
We have to be careful how much
Yeah.
we discuss about it.
yeah,
I don't want Jessica yelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had an interest in so, I don't know, maybe Jessica or Matt, you can, does that get on the agenda, and how do I find the agenda for the meeting of the night? Like for tonight's agenda, I went to the agenda section, and I didn't see tonight's
So
meeting.
you have to go to the homepage on the town website and you click on the calendar. And click on the date or the upcoming events and it will list the agendas. It's a little confusing compared to how it used to be.
All right, so I'll,
But right now, yeah, September 28th, that's the earliest we'll discuss it again.
okay, that's all I need to know, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Good to see you, Mike.
Thank you.
How's your son?
Good, everyone's doing it.
there is a possibility it could be a larger hearing, so it might be in the Great Hall.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. Okay, well, thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice seeing you, Mike, period.
I'll hang out with you.
We're done.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Where are we at with the revision of the fees and fee schedule? Did I miss that at the beginning?
No, we talked about what's on there.
It's not on
I don't mean to
the
open a
agenda.
can of worms, but.
No, there's nothing.
Make sure we're making progress. on it.
So
Next meeting.
Jessica, you do, or Matt, I stopped in the office last week and it was, the administrative changes were approved by the select board.
That's correct. Yeah. So those, the fees that you guys voted on last week or last meeting are now effective May 31st and they're on our website.
Thank you.
Next meeting is Wednesday, June 22nd, 2022 at 7 PM, Board of Select Chambers, second floor. Meeting will also be held via Zoom, remote, in accordance with COVID-19 safe meeting guidelines. Motion to adjourn at 8:08.
Motion to adjourn
At 8:08,
at 8:08.
seconded.
Second. Oh, sorry.
Linda?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
James, yes?
Good
Yes.
meeting.
Yes.
And